it in an ice pick on you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gone on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart, grip my bow tie. Waiting on the storm in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart, grip my bow tie. Living in the storm in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s.
Right, shalom, Israel, shalom. Right, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat to the brothers, Yahweh Shabbat Bashem, Shah to the sisters tuning in. I'm Priest Officer 1000, Rosh Karab, holding it down every 6 to 7 p.m. in Chicago, you understand? Like it for the late startup, Satan was really trying today, y'all. y'all know how that. But anyways, if this is your new time coming in here, you understand this is the Lashawan Qadash. That means the holy tongue. You understand that's only spoken by Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? If you knew, look into the school, of course, the Most High has language. You understand that every Black and Hispanic man, you understand, Native Indian, so on and so forth, the tribes of Israel, they gotta know. You understand? You Guatemalan, you Mexican, this is your language right here. This is your language, and this is what we do in the UPK. Check the comments real quick. We got Bunny out, shout to Bunny out. All right. All right. So of course, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and explain the board. I do this at the beginning of every class so everybody knows what they're going to learn today. So once again, Lashawan Qadash, and this means holy tongue. You understand? Once again, the Bible says we're separate people and holy people. So that word holy, it means separate, and of course, for a special people, you got your own holy tongue, your holy language. You understand? And of course, we have it here, Lashawan Qadash too. But now it's one thing when you learn the language, it is read from right to left. Not like how English is, not like how Spanish is. Spanish is left to right. That's Spanish. But in the Lashawan Qadash, it is read right to left. You understand? And as far as my time doing the Lashawan Qadash, I find it easier to read anything from right to left. You understand? And you'll get to know that too, in case you maybe get a little tripped up at first. I can understand it's kind of different reading some right to left when you're used to English, left to right, but it's going to be easy, all right? So now here is the ancient language. This is the ancient Hebrew right here. That's the ancient, and here's all the characters, how they look like. So I'm gonna break it down first. Okay, so we have the a, ba, ga, da, ha, wa. Let me slow it down. The za, the ka. That's how you pronounce it. Not ka, it's ka. Ta, ya, ka, the la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, taza, qua, ra, sha, and tha. It's real simple. Real simple, real easy to get. Right? Real simple to understand. Right? So this is the ancient, you understand the ancient alphabet, how it looks. Now at the bottom, we have the Assyrian Hebrew language. Okay. Now, the only reason you may be asking why is there's two different alphabets. Well, the Assyrian Hebrew language is where we were put in captivity. And of course, like any people that's in captivity, you lose who the hell you are, i.e., black people, Hispanics, Native Indians. Anytime you get in captivity, you're gonna lose something. You understand? So this is why you have the ancient Hebrew language, and their characters look like this. Still the same. It's still pronounced the same way. But it looks different. The Assyrian. Also, Lashawan. I mean, forgive me. Rather, Sabbath service, we read the Hebrew and Assyrian also. You understand? So it's definitely another skill to pick up on. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go down the Assyrian also. So the corresponding letters that you see at the bottom corresponds with the one on top. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over it again. Ha, ba, ka, ja, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, taza, qua, ra, sha, tha. All right, now, so that's the first part. Now we have these characters at the bottom. All right. Now, these characters are used, well, it's like, we'll rather use these letters if letters above fall at end of word. You understand? So an example would be Lakum. Lakum ends with a month. If you're writing the Syrian, you wouldn't put this month down. You'll put this month right here because Lakum, that the month ends on the last letter. So you write it down just like that. Same thing for the ka. If it falls with a different letter, end of the word, the na, the pa, and the taza. Okay, same thing. And of course, at the bottom, you have the hand right. All right. So I'm gonna give everybody a little second. If you need a screenshot or something like that, go ahead and do what you gotta do. And we're gonna continue to today's lesson. Gonna let it go a couple more seconds, whatever the case may be. All right. All right, about 5 more seconds, then we're gonna move it on. All right, moving on. All right, so today's lesson, I thought I'd bring it back to the body parts again. You understand? The same way you learn a language in school, it's the same thing you learn a language with the holy tongue. You learn your ABCs, then you learn your numbers, then you learn body parts, and then before you know it, you're speaking full-blown Hebrew. You understand? So of course, I'm gonna just do body parts. I got like probably about 20. I'll probably go over about 10 and then go through the scriptures again too. Right. So let's see. You write down the title, of course. Body parts in Hebrew. So Bring that up. That's better. Okay, so the first word is flesh slash body. All right. Flesh slash body. All right. So I'm gonna write down the pronunciation of it. You understand in the Hebrew, and then I'm gonna write down the characters for it. So how you would say flesh or body. Let me get a different color marker. B. Bashar. All right. Bashar. That's how you say body or flesh. Bashar. Right. Bashar. Now I'm writing in the Hebrew, the ancient that is. Understand? And the ancient. All right. All right. Bashar. That's how you say body. Oh, and of course, do not forget the connectors and the ancient. There's always connectors in the ancient. Let me go ahead and go over this real quick. Okay, so you got flesh, body, so it will be pronounced Bashar. So that you know how to say it, Bashar. All right, then you got the ancient, so you got the ba. The ba has one the one what they call it? Speaking my mind, syllable. You understand? Well, one connected by itself, so you would just say the ba by itself. But once you see a connector with two characters, then it's shar. So it wouldn't be basha, but it wouldn't be bashara, bashar. You understand? All right, and of course, in the Syrian, you will kind of get to you will kind of just the more you go along with Hebrew, then you will learn how to say it. Because in ancient, it has the connectors on how to say it, but the Assyrian it doesn't. You understand? And that takes time too. It takes time before you know it, you'll be reading the full blown Assyrian. So the same thing will be Bashar. All right. Now let's go to the next one. So you know how to say body. Next one, bone. Bone. Like the scripture stated, paraphrasing. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Wake up the valley of the dead bones. And how you will say that is Itazan. Itazan. That's how you say bone. Itazan. Pretty simple. Itazan. Let's go ahead and get it in the ancient. Oh, and this is a good point right here to do for class. Itazan. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. So we have bone. This is I is by itself. Then you got the taza, and then you got the na, which creates tazan, itazan. All right. So once again, just like the ancient, the I, this is the taza and the na. So it wouldn't be I taza na, it will be I tazan. That's when they connect to zan. All right. And of course, another learning thing that we just went over today on the alphabet. So we got the I tazan, but this na looks different because it is on the end of this word. You understand? So that's why the na looks like this rather than a regular na like this. That will be a regular na. But since on the alphabet, if the na ends on the last letter of the word, it will be this. All right. So that's icon. That's bone. All right. Get down to the next word. Next word we got is skin. Skin. Now you would say this is I wore. I wore. You understand? I know this looks like war, like in English, but if I'm gonna break it down, I'm gonna show you. I wore. That's how you say skin. I wore. The Assyrian, ancient and Assyrian. All right. Got more clear. Clear. Okay. Hold that. Assyrian for the small light. I wore. Skin. Once again, I want to say shalom to everybody in the chat. The water for tuning in. The water. Princess Nakaf. Allah Ya'ala. You understand? We got my brother Zun. On Lord Christ Zun. Right, so let's go ahead and break it down. So now we got skin. Okay. Now you would say the pronunciation is I wore in the Hebrew. I wore. All right. Now let's break it down. For the ancient, so of course you got the I by itself, single connector. Then you got the wa and the ra. You understand? So that creates war. So you wouldn't say I wa ra. You understand? You would say I war, and that's what connects to. All right. So the same thing as the ancient. So for the Assyrian, you got the I war. Right? How you would say that? Quick and easy. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're on a roll right now. Let's see what else. Oh, let me do this. So we did skin. Now we can do sinew. That's a good word. Sinew or tendon. Like, you write that one down. That's more room. Sinew slash tendon. Right? This is actually a word in the scripture. I can't remember it. I think it's around Ezekiel. I can't remember the chapter. Sinew. I can put sinew on the people. Tendons, skin, bone, flesh. You understand? Now, let's get how it's pronounced. Now, how you pronounce this? Is Gayad. That's how you would say it. Gayad. Gayad. Easy and simple to say. Gayad. Let's go ahead and move forward. With the ancient, then the Assyrian. Right. That is correct. Gayad. Make sure I don't trip up nobody. Gayad. Now let's break it down. So you have the gut. Oh, well, let me start from right here. So sinew or tendons, the tendons in your body, that's what that word means. It's pronounced gayad. All right, gayad. Of course, you got the ga by itself, one connector. Then you got the ya, and that's the duh. And that creates yad. All right. It wouldn't be ga ya duh. It will be ga yad. The ya and the duh creates yad. All right. Same thing for the Assyrian. You got the ga, ya, duh, so you pronounce it ga ya. Real simple, simple. Right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do another one. Why not? I got the space for it. Let's do another one. So for this one, something that everybody should know. Understand? Hair. Right? Black and brown is just something very important to us. It's hair, hairstyle, braids. You understand? It's a good word to use. Good word to learn. So hair. All right. So how you would say hair is sha'ar. Oh, right down the blues. Lucky. Break that in blue. Sha'ai. It's all one word too. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the ancient alphabet. I'll see that. All right. Sha'ai. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. So here is Sha'ir. All right. Sha'ir. I know it doesn't have, you understand, the breakdowns like the other words do, but it's pretty easy to say. A little bit of a tongue twister if it's your first time, but it's pretty much one word, Sha'ir. All right. Now I'm going to break it down. So we got the sh. The sh is by itself. Then that's the I, and that's the r. So you pronounce it sh, r. All right. Sha'ar. Sha'ar. Whatever the case may be. All right. So the same thing for the Syrian. You got the sh, the I, and the ra. Sha'ar. Right. So boom, we got done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 words. You understand? Now be the good time. If you need a screenshot or whatever you gotta do, notes, if you're taking notes, these are body parts in the Hebrew. Right? Body parts in the Hebrew. I'm gonna let probably about a minute or 2 minutes or so everybody can write it down. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. A lot of people know how to communicate because when Christ comes back, let me say this. So Christ comes back, he's not going to speak in English. Just so that everybody know, he ain't going to be speaking English, Spanish, no, none of that. He's going to be speaking Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So it would be a good idea, in my eyes, to learn the language now. All right. So I'm going to give you one more minute. And since I'm on, I might as well do a couple more words before we end it off. All right. All right. 5 more seconds. All right. Moving on, everybody. Let's go ahead and do it. Since we did air, let's do another basic one. Let's do head. Head, the head on your shoulders. All right, and how you'll say this. And marker. How you get to say head is Ra. All right. And yes, that's a part of my name. That's how you will say head. Ra'ash. All right, now let's get to the Hey, bro. All right. So somebody's head. You got something on your head. How you would say it. Head. Ra'ash. Once again, that's one word. The breakdown right here, you got the ra, and then you got the then you got the sh. The ra, single connector, so it's by itself. Then you got the and the sh. Together, it creates ash. Ra, ash. Okay? Same thing for the Assyrian. You got the ra, the and the sh. You will say this ra, ash. All right, nice and simple. Let's keep it going. Next word. Since we on the head body part, face. Next one is face. And you heard this one in class. You already know it. Just don't remember. The face, how you will say it. Panya. Panya. You understand? When you face the east, panya. That means face. Also, the body part face. Okay. All right, let's move on. Ancient. Oh, sorry. Slip. Yeah, fix that. No, it's just more clear. There we go. More like it. Panya. Face. All right. So how you would say it? Pan. Yeah. Now here's the breakdown. So you got the pa's by itself. Okay. And then we have the na and the ya. So it wouldn't be pa na ya. It would be pan. It will be pan ya. Well, actually, yeah. Okay. So here's the breakdown on that. This is a perfect time too. So the na and the ya. All right. So it would just be. Wait, you know what? Slack is real. Had the connections mixed up. Pawn, yeah. There you go. That's more like it. Right? So if you get everything I just said, so it's panya. So you got the pa and the na together, and that creates pan. All right? Pan. Then you got the ya, this is the ya by itself, and that's the ya. So it'll be panya. Pan ya. Right? In the Assyrian, the pa, the na, and the ya, panya. Panya. right. All right, Israel. Looks like it's that time. You understand? I'm gonna give y'all a little minute to write that down. We're gonna end it off on that. For the body parts, pretty important thing. I might as well go over it next week, do a couple more before we get to the scriptures. Right. Before we end it off, I'm gonna give everybody a minute to write that down. 30 seconds maybe. All right, Kyle, we'll end it off on that. All right, so once again, Israel. So we just did a couple of body parts so that everybody knows and understands. You understand the Hebrew. All right. So of course we did the alphabet, a little bit of these nouns, whatever the case may be, body parts. But what that is real, we're gonna end up the class on that. I'm pretty sure 1000 Rosh Karab. But don't forget, an hour later, it's the round table of truth. Go to the round table of truth with Cal Quad and the rest of his crew, you understand? And with that, Israel, that's my time. Come on.